said, guys.
Another big lead got away in New Orleans the other night. Paul George says it's pretty simple. The Thunder has to come together and say, this is where it ends. And he says it's when it'll change. No better opportunity than against the defending champions on Fox Sports Oklahoma. Westbrook driving on the pick and roll. The jump stop in the bucket for Adams. He was so upset about a poor performance, he left the game in his uniform, drove out of the arena in his uniform. Westbrook below the three-point line, he scores. Jeremy Grant has checked into the ball game from the elbow. Westbrook scores over Curry.
Just shot right over the top.
Durant throws the ball away, looking for Pachulia. An odd-man break. Robertson going to get it right back to George. He's going to score. Tie ball game. Timeout, Golden State. Durant blocked by Grant, and the Thunder running again. George outside for three. Got it from Westbrook.
Solid defense again. We talked about that. Thunder have come out, letting their defense dictate a lot of offense in the early part of this ball game, folks.
Quarter of Philadelphia on Saturday night. George finds Westbrook's foot, but they're playing 3-on-1. Durant stays back, blows up the initial, but there's George on the follow-up. It's Abrines, and then Grant teaming up to stop Durant. In transition, Anthony from Westbrook for three. Hello! The Thunder, 5 of its last 7 over the last 2 minutes.
And has done an excellent job
making things tough on Curry. Stripped. And in transition, Anthony got another from distance. That's a long 2-point goal.
Nice's attack.
Anthony scoring over Green. He's going to put it on the deck. What a move. Make it 10 in a row for Anthony.
That's tough to do against a defensive player of the year right there.
Over the top. Looney can't hang on to it. Fourth. Golden State is at the limit. Westbrook splitting the defense, and he scores. In the third quarter in that game, which they won by 8. That's an and one. Westbrook to the free throw line. He's got a shot at the three-point play.
Well, we talked about Russell Westbrook just staying with it. Keep making it do what it do. Now staying vertical on that play.
On the pick and roll, Adams again with a chance to score, and he does. You know, Westbrook has 5 assists in the quarter. Because Houston's definitely got fouled by Iguodala in that corner. George for the deep 2. That one falls. PG-13 off to a 4-stick start. Anthony showing Sean Livingston all kinds of moves. He gets deep, he's fouled.
And that's a late call, but it was the correct call.
George has Durant. He gets inside. That one spills out on him.
That's good defense by Paul George. He rode it the whole way.
Good screen by Adams. Felton had a good look. Anthony square up and score over Durant.
I was surprised. Kevin Durant was pretty physical with Carmelo Anthony with those 2 fouls. But Anthony showing you a little bit of cool hand Luke. Just shot right over the top of the outstretched arms. Did I put you on the spot with
no? Better chance to win a title here. Oh my goodness! You got no chance to stop that.
Challenging that one by Russell Westbrook, because he does the Russell Westbrook dance after.
You know, if that would have been the turkey and Russell with the axe, that turkey's head would have flown into the Oklahoma River.
Absolutely. There's that Popeye look too. You know good things happens when Russell Westbrook.
Nice screen by Adams. George off the rough from Robertson, scores from 3.
That's a beautiful stroke.
Loses Curry, who gets underneath, gives it up to Durant. He's stripped. Skip past Anthony, asking for it for 3, and he's got it.
And the rate at which the Thunder are able to
out of bounds. Westbrook, just like the preacher at the tent revival, he may be speaking in tongues.
Russ did a good job of the time.
There should have been a foul on Durant.
He pushed him.
Yes, he did.
And Russ just stayed with it, but Durant started kind of, jawing at him. And Russ he's facing away from. Russ got KD a little frustrated.
You ever hear a man or a woman speak in tongues?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to understand. I wouldn't. 14, its largest of the night. Green misfires. The Thunder running again. You push the pace, good things happen. You push the pace, good things happen. fights over the screen. Adams releases. Westbrook will trigger from three and score! 20 points in the corner for Russell. Encouraging the Thunder to a strong finish from the elbow. George gives it to him. 65 points here in the first half.
Keep him on defense.
Westbrook triggers and scores the Thunder's first bucket. Westbrook left his feet and nobody to pass to. And he gets it right back. Nobody going to catch up to that.
Well, I guess he's just returning the favor. Kevin Durant stole his ball.
And another deflection. And the race is on. And he's going to go right at Curry. He's going to score. It's an and one. And listen to this crowd.
And it has a focus. You better watch out.
And he's kind of thinking, okay, I did it before. This will be twice as nice. Westbrook fouled by Curry. Westbrook knocks that out of Durant's hands, allows the Thunder to get its defense down with 16 seconds on the shot clock.
Those two guys know each other. He was waiting for Kevin Durant to make that crossover. He says, hey, man, I practiced with you before. And now it continues.
Oh, they're just wishing each other Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Or Happy Thanksgiving? Yeah.
Another stop. Westbrook going to pull up at the three-point line. George, PG-13 knocks down his third triple of the ball game. Timeout, Golden State.
You remember I said in the first half, you got to stay away sometimes from the drama out there on the floor? Well, the Thunder have done that a couple of times. After the double technical, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, the Thunder come down.
George stays with Durant, who dribbles the ball off his foot. Thunder basketball off of the 13th turnover of the game. And Klay Thompson engages Draymond Green, leaves it for a wide open Andre Robertson. That's some pretty basketball right there. And a technical foul has been called. Away three. The Thunder with its seventh make beyond the arc. Anthony has 20 points, and Golden State needs another timeout as the lead is back to 22. Russell going to cross over, and he's going to score. And just kind of making sure everybody...
And here's that Euro step as he left. Andre Iguodala somewhere in Edmond, Oklahoma. You know, he went right. Russ went left.
The Thunder is shooting 50%. Off the glass, Westbrook scores again. Russell with 33 points on 24 shots. That's pretty efficient.
Just a beautiful bank off the glass with a little bit of pressure.
Patterson with the steal and in the foot race. Caspi challenging too late. Strips the ball away from Iguodala. Nearly beheaded him in the process. And that is how you punctuate a great defensive possession. George with his third steal of the ball game, his fourth bucket from beyond the arc. Their starters 39%. Anthony scores. Melo has 22 points on 8 of 15 shooting. And he's hit three. He's going to drop it off. And Robertson is going to score. That count. And this one is in the books. A decisive and persuasive victory for the Thunder.
said, guys, there's a
with a full shot clock.
George, first three of the night. That's good. Paul George rattles it in.
Good job surrounding Whiteside by all the blue shirts.
George again on the drive. That's going to be the continuation. A possible. Took it right off the deck, played through the contact.
And he just sets you up for that. Remember, he just hit a three, right? So you're saying, all right, he's Russ.
Grant finds George slashing to the rim, and no good by Johnson as George wants to get out. He has Winslow to beat, and he does beat him. And there's 4 minutes and 39 seconds, and once again, led by Paul George. 4 rebounds. George steps into the three. Make it 2 for Paul George from downtown.
I mean, this is what you like. Remember we talked about, Billy Donovan talked about this in the pregame, folks. You know, just downhill run.
George already with 13 here in the first quarter. Can add to it. Lines up the three, and right down the pipe, Paul George knocks it down.
I tell you, he's like,
erase shot by Nerlens Noel, his third block of the night. And George, with some space, takes advantage. Westbrook feeds it over to George. Aims, fires, and hits. Second three of the first half. Time for the Thunder here. Westbrook goes behind his back. Finds George, slashing all the way to the rim. Jumps it away from Johnson from behind. George again, maybe another reload. Here we go. That one's good. Catch fire three by Paul.
Westbrook is outstanding assist so far. This is just all PG, folks.
Monday take on the Celtics. George dancing, firing, and connecting. Give that up. George wants another three. Oh my goodness, Paul George. Paul George, instant offense. 17-point lead. George pulls up and hits. Came in averaging about 17 a game. Can George add to the record? He can. Another three. 10th of the night. Away, the two of them. 1-2. And Michael, there's nothing wrong with maybe a game with, what do you say, 10 threes?
Paul, you have an incredible night. You set a career high and made threes, and then you exchange a jersey with a future Hall of Famer. Just tell me about this night for you.
Special night, special night. My last time playing D-Wade on this floor. I just appreciate this fan. I appreciate the battles we had, the battles I've had.
He said, guys,
Another big lead got away in New Orleans the other night. Paul George says it's pretty simple. The Thunder has to come together and say, this is where it ends. And he says it's when it'll change. No better opportunity than against the defending champions on Fox Sports Oklahoma. Westbrook driving on the pick and roll. The jump stop and the bucket for Adams. He was so upset about a poor performance, he left the game in his uniform, drove out of the arena in his uniform. Westbrook, below the three-point line, he scores. Jeremy Grant has checked into the ball game from the elbow. Westbrook scores over Curry.
Just shot right over the top.
he said, guys, there's a reason they don't make many like him.
Yeah, Israel, you talk to some of his former coaches and teammates, and they'll be the first ones to tell you that LeBron James has made the art of taking care of his body and improving his game down to a science. LeBron also saying that he'd love to reach that 30,000-point milestone here in Cleveland in front of his family and friends.
Chance opportunities, and you must stop that during the game. This is your biggest problem. When he's going down inside, can you stop the ball and force him to kick out and make them take the three ball?
Paul George into the paint, got the floater to go. 5-point lead for the Thunder. George straight away, and that's what he's been doing from three-point territory this year.
Well, when you look at it,
Steven Adams again.
Will somebody please block him out? Okay, I mean, it isn't like you don't know that he's an offensive rebounder.
About 5 a game. Hey. LeBron goes 1 for 2 from the line. Now 24 points shy of hitting 30,000, and Paul George with his second three ball of the day.
Well, he's not bashful. Now, remember he told you.
Another three-pointer on the way. Knocks down his second three-pointer.
Well, everybody's been waiting for him to get going. Not taking care of the defensive boards, which we've seen already early.
Wide open three. Good. Paul George adding to the misery of the Cavaliers right now. In the city as LeBron muscles his way to the basket. OKC.
The floor. That's why I said early on why he didn't back down the guard early. A little kind of a surprise.
Jeff Green launching along 2. That is good. 3 in a row coming into this one tonight. And Patterson knocks down a corner 3.
Now that was all eye contact. Nice job.
A great pass by LeBron to Tristan Thompson. over the top for the out.
When you have the second unit out there, Oklahoma City, come on, you got to get points here tonight.
And Wade with a soft touch.
Well, I like the fact that he hasn't really rushed anything and that he's not forcing anything. He might be 1 for 4, but give him credit, he did have 4 assists. Now that one he just left short. But I also want to say that George has done a pretty good job at keeping him and then chasing him into another player that isn't trapping him, but he's getting there so he cannot make the easy layup. And that's almost just as good as a trap with him.
Yeah, you know, Paul George and LeBron James have some very
great. He is showing us quickness.
James isolated against Paul George. Ripped through baseline. Got it to go.
Not only sheer strength, but hang time. And he maneuvered out, beating LeBron James.
George for 3. Got another one. Paul George with his 4th 3-ball of the afternoon. George with the pull-up over Crowder. Man, he's got enough to feed the needy here this afternoon. Paul George with 20 points here in the first half. And Wade with the steal here, Hughie.
Out here.
The alley-oop, LeBron.
There it is.
Peanut butter and jelly.
That was eye contact as soon as he passed us right here at half court.
The lead is down to 10. George on the drive. Took the hit. Won't get it from Tyler Ford. Instead, whistle, foul, LeBron, bucket.
See, LeBron, that was beautiful because he gave you hesitation when he came across half court. He just eyed this up. See, he just took his time. He then, once he made that crossover, he saw the lane.
Nobody's been able to contain Paul George here in the first half. And, man, he is vaporizing that Cleveland defense. 25 in the first half. That's the highest scoring first half of the season.
The roll guy. Now, that opened up space for him as he came up. He created the pass. Same thing on the fast break situation there and there as following up. Now here, you're going to just see he's working and working. He steps behind the 3, and you just have to like it. He's 5 for 7.
On straight individual drives to the basket, so that's where they're looking to improve, guys.
And Crowder with the layup. Yeah, Israel, OKC has gotten a couple of, as a member of the Knicks. But he looks like he's headed that way this year. Paul George inside over LeBron James this year that we don't want him to pass up. Paul George not passing up much, if any, here. He's got 29 now.
So you can't continue to lay back off of that screen. You lay back off the screen. He's shooting as he steps one step over. 11 to 2.
Westbrook with the 3-point play coming up. A mismatch here. You think would favor LeBron James. 7 on the shot clock.
I'll tell you, you're watching these blue shirts. You see them all moving?
Grant came over. All right. That's going to be a goaltender.
That's okay. The main thing is that was a strong move by LeBron.
Got all the way into the paint, draws the hit, and won.
They wanted the Euro step. They wanted the Euro step and won. I mean, he did it so slow, okay? I mean, he mesmerized everybody here, okay? There's you pick up. There's 1, there's 2.
Westbrook turned it over.
Good defense that time by Fry. Fry got a piece of that pass.
Here comes the freight train and 1.
You got to be careful here. This is what I say. Can you hold this and continue to play for 48 minutes? Just watch how strong he's going here now. He's going to go down inside, take it up strong with the left hand. He makes this foul shot. You look up, it's a 12-point game.
Billy Donovan hasn't used over Houston for the layup. Yeah. Anthony fell
4 for 7 in the 3-ball, and then 4 for 5 on the line. Don't ever forget the line with him.
A whistle and a foul. Wade on the drive, kicks it to LeBron, floats in with the left hand, and James with 18. Going to get some help here from Paul George, working against James.
Good defense by LeBron.
Throws it up. It's been that type of day for PG-13.
And I'll tell you what, PG also wanted a foul on that shot, okay?
36 points for Paul George.
Another big lead got away in New Orleans the other night. Paul George says it's pretty simple. The Thunder has to come together and say, this is where it ends. And he says it's when it'll change. No better opportunity than against the defending champions on Fox Sports Oklahoma. Westbrook driving on the pick and roll. The jump stop in the bucket for Adams. He was so upset about a poor performance, he left the game in his uniform, drove out of the arena in his uniform. Westbrook, below the three-point line, he scores. Jeremy Grant has checked into the ball game from the elbow. Westbrook scores over Curry.
Just shot right over the top.
Durant throws the ball away, looking for Pachulia. An odd-man break. Robertson going to give it right back to George. He's going to score. Tie ball game. Timeout, Golden State. Durant blocked by Grant, and the Thunder running again. George outside for three. Got it from Westbrook.
Solid defense.
Five scoring in the Clippers. And they dropped 4 in a row. Last time they won on March 13th against Brooklyn. Expect them. Adams picked up the foul. Here's Gasol backing in. Kawhi deep three. Triggers a three. Leonard connects. Because of the late start time, Raptors spent the night and then flew back yesterday as Kawhi Leonard banks it in.
Job of the guards helping out. When you got Adams in there, everybody's got to help the big fellas.
Danny Green triggers a three. Another big. And San Antonio, Utah in the Clippers. And they've dropped 4 in a row. Last time they won on March 13th against Brooklyn. Expect them. Adams picked up the foul. Here's Gasol backing in. Kawhi deep three. Triggers a three. Leonard connects. Because of the late start time, Raptors spent the night and then flew back yesterday as Kawhi Leonard banks it in.
Job of the guards helping out. When you got Adams in there, everybody's got to help the big fellas.
Danny Green triggers a three, rattles it in. Raptors on an 8-0 run. Green and the Raptors are 3-3 from distance through the first 3 quarters. On a Wednesday night, Raptors were 13-24 as Grant gets that 3 back to bring their best here at this end for sure. How about Fred? Drive, kick. Green, 3. Danny Green from 4th. Resolution.
Only 4 assists, as you pointed out earlier today. It came from the bench. So it's really important that the Raptors' second unit move the ball.
Need more from him.
And the way he's been playing.
More is less. Maybe more in this regard. Green, another 3. Don't force a game.
Right.
Play D. Allow it to come to you. And throughout the course of the NBA, in the history of the league, there's been many spots. LA has become the spot as of late, but Houston used to be a spot. Chicago used to be a spot.
At the rim.
9 points. 6-0 run by the Toronto Raptors. Dennis Schroeder a 3, and it's good.
Schroeder quiet, especially early in the game in OKC. Really wasn't looking for a shot.
Van Vliet has 6.
And you can see the OKC Thunder, they're looking at each other going, hey, where's the help? Where's the D? And seeing that. So it's a process that's going on all season long, and it's been an issue watching it. So the other day, he is a factor on the floor.
Abdul Nader.
Nice pass.
And the denial by Ibaka. Lynn triggers a 3. And on the offensive glass, OG Anunoby. Danny Green, corner 3.
This guy is just out of control right now. Shooting better than 50% in the month of March, averaging 3 makes a game.
Kawhi spinning. Wide open look. Lynn, good. And we talked about this earlier. Leonard with George there, driving. The help comes to the rim. Explosive move by number 2. George comes up to set a screen. Schroeder right to the rim. You mentioned this, and now when he gets downhill like that, he's so quick with the ball. Loose ball, he created that there with his presence on the inside. Danny Green chase off the line, the no look. In surge, banks it in, and the ball is moving.
This is a team that has designs on an NBA championship, but you were part of the first team to put a banner up, that division title. What do you remember about that year in Toronto specifically?
Abe out there, Jorge Garbajosa, when he got hurt, the Raptors' fortunes changed because they could not replace him.
Knocking him down. Westbrook sends it over to Ferguson. And Westbrook gets it back. Shot clock down to 5. Pascal. Now, what great patience on a quick move.
That's the key word, Matty. Last game, Gasol hit a few of those out there. Adams tried to sit back. This game, he's saying, okay, I got to come up.
Strong move by George on Van Vliet, and now a 1-point game.
And, Matt, I want to say the same thing for both teams. This is what you have to do if you're the Raptors. Get it inside the Kawhi. And on the flip side, get it inside the Paul George. Let him work in the paint a little bit. I thought he was strong in the overtime, too, which is a good sign.
Siakam, no fair! Who's shaking his head now? Danny Green, good! Clock down. Kawhi on George, backing in. Got it. 13 for Leonard and a 9-0 run. Raptors up by 10. Comes up short there, but David West, what an outstanding career.
Yeah, he had a great career, you know, solid contribution. You have to be careful with that pass because you're the one who sees him, not the receiver.
Siakam with a 3, and it's good. His game is on point. Thunder, San Antonio, Utah, Clippers. Those 4 teams all with a same record.
He had a couple of those in Oklahoma City, Matty, where he just left the ground and just wasn't sure what he was going to do once he went airborne. Oh, nice reaction by
Great
Kawhi.
pass by Danny Green, seeing Kawhi Leonard. Raptors up by a dozen, their largest lead. George in a crowd. Westbrook, 3. And it rolls around and in.
And where'd that come from? Paul George getting in the paint. That's the formula right now. Whether he's finishing or kicking, he's got to go.
Siakam with a bank shot.
Various amount of injuries that could have easily sidetracked the Toronto Raptors. Instead, players like Pascal have kept them right up there.
Here's Westbrook attacking. Ferguson chased off the line, gets in the paint, and a nice move by Terrence Ferguson.
Green, a former defensive player. Look what happens right now. Great job of anticipating as we're talking about D.
Finger roll plus the foul. Siakam with 11 in the corner. Spicy P is too hot for the Thunder. At draft night, 27th overall. If they did the draft, he'd be arguably top 5. George,
hey,
right over top
Powell's
foul.
right in that, right in his grill on that shot. Still knocked it down.
Yeah, you know,
it's a secondhand report.
Exactly.
That maybe you don't want to publish.
Exactly. And Westbrook to the rim. Van Vliet working with Serge Ibaka, and that's his shot. Yeah,
that's as good. Just put it in the books as soon as that ball gets to his hands.
Starters remain on the floor for the Raptors, and a 3-pointer by Morris. 79-78. Ferguson, Schroeder chase off the line, finds Westbrook, and the Thunder lead. It's an 8-0 run.
I really like the combination of Schroeder and Westbrook, Matt.
Bats it out, scooped up by Westbrook. Ferguson, 3, good. And the largest lead for the Thunder, it's 4.
He had spurts last game, and he has just been solid all game here.
There you go, Serge on the inside and a power move. Chance to run in transition. Norm gathering speed. Drive, kick, fly by, reset, 3. Good! It has responded here at this end.
Yes.
9-0 run. Schroeder, jumper, and foul. Into the front court. George, a 3, good, and a big lead now. Anunoby has it denied. Raptors do not have a bench player.
Wow.
As George drills a 3 on the plus side of the plus-minus.
Oh, Thunder's defense, Matty, they're challenging shots, blocking shots, and they're getting out in transition. Big response right there, and a much-needed one.
Adams to Grant.
Clock at 7. Schroeder got it. Big bucket right from point A to point B.
Point A to point B. Unbelievable speed. And how about this number, Matty?
Green the three. Rack it up. They are still shooting 20 of 40 from 3. Kawhi crossover. Driving. And the foul. Now that's continuation. Siakam there. Screen comes. Schroeder. Jumper. Man, he has been as tough. Siakam quickly into the front court. Gasol quickly now over to Kawhi on the attack. Wow, 34. Kawhi. George stays well. What a pass. What a great job reading the situation. And Gasol, his first field goal of the night. Schroeder.
Well, you got 3 players that can put that ball on the floor. Great move by Dennis Schroeder, but between Paul George,
The Oklahoma City Thunder. And a big win for Oklahoma City as that ends a 4-game slide. In the top 5 in scoring.
Adams couldn't handle that. Middleton out of there with it. The Bucks with a 3-on-2. Brogdon with the trail. Middleton rising, and it's good for Chris Middleton, 6-zip. Brogdon on a 50-40-90 pace. 50% shooting from the field, 40 from 3. There's Paul George from outside, a 3.
George, think of the adjustment. He didn't play college basketball. He committed to Arizona, but instead went to play in Australia. And then last year played some as a rookie as Lopez hits again on a 3. Ferguson just 20 years old, by the way.
Good range.
Good point. Westbrook kicks it out here to Grant. Driving on Giannis and gets it to go off glass.
13% of his attempts come from out there, Dave.
George tracks down the loose ball, catch and fire, and he buries it.
The last time they were in the NBA Finals was 1974.
Can they make the jump this year? Wow. Deep 3 by Lopez, his 3rd.
He's posting up. Bledsoe doesn't drive it. Bledsoe doesn't have the pick and pop release. So 2 examples of what he needs.
Ferguson comes back and knocks down a 3 to tie the game. Don Maker was getting. Maker reportedly wants a trade out of Milwaukee. How about Jeremy Grant soaring to the rim and slamming it home?
Well, and the one question you have about Oklahoma City in the playoffs is, do they have enough shooting? As Brook just keeps lighting it up off the dribble.
An extra 24, or 14 rather, for OKC. Westbrook again. Finally gets one to drop. He jumps up and down. And
I get it. Our job is to wonder about where he's going to be. But for this particular instance, this is just about respect for a teammate.
George, sweet move going behind the back and burying the 3. Career highs in all 3 categories. Here's Brogdon on the drive. Got past his man, and it rolls in. Westbrook, we're not shooting the ball well from 3, but that's changed. It's just their defense isn't as good as it was earlier in the season. Snell spinning and hitting over Nader, 6th-year pro out of New Mexico. Here's a lob. No